Seniors, just one daily habit to rebuild muscle strength. After 60, feel like you're 40. Again, it's a quiet crisis that rarely makes headlines, but is changing millions of lives behind closed doors. By the time we reach our 80s, we can lose up to half of the muscle mass we had in our younger years. And with that loss comes something even more serious, the fading of independence. Each year, more than 300 older adults in the U.S. end up in the hospital because of falls tied directly to weakened muscles. The cause? A silent condition called sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss that quietly chips away at strength, stability, and confidence. But here's the surprising part. According to groundbreaking research published in the Journal of Physiology, losing muscle as we age isn't guaranteed. In fact, many seniors in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s are defying expectations. They hike, they swim, they play with their grandkids and carry their own groceries. They're what researchers now call superagers, people who not only maintain muscle mass but outperform folks decades younger in strength, mobility, and resilience. So what's their secret? At the Mayo Clinic and Harvard Medical School, teams of researchers have studied these extraordinary individuals and discovered that they don't rely on luck or superior genes. Instead, they share a set of daily practices, habits that slow down, and in some cases, reverse the muscle loss that comes with aging. Yet here's the problem. Over 90% of older adults have never been told about them. Even more troubling, many doctors still offer outdated advice that doesn't reflect what the latest science now shows about preserving physical strength later in life. And that brings us here, because the first habit we're going to talk about today, it's something most people unknowingly get wrong every single day. It may seem small, but this one misstep can trigger powerful genetic pathways that speed up muscle breakdown. And it might be the very reason you're feeling weaker, more tired, or more dependent than you'd like to be. If you're someone who values your independence, who wants to move confidently, carry your own bags, and keep doing what you love, then stay with us. What you're about to hear could change the way you age. Let's begin. Habit 1. Give your muscles what they need all day long. Imagine your muscles like a garden. If you only water your plants once a day, late in the evening, and let them go dry the rest of the time, what happens? They start to fade. Slowly, quietly, until one day you wake up and realize the strength you once had just isn't there anymore. This quiet fading of strength has a name. It's called sarcopenia, and it's one of the leading causes of weakness, loss of independence, and even falls in older adults. But here's what most people don't realize. One of the biggest contributors to sarcopenia is not lack of exercise. It's not even illness. It's how we eat. More specifically, when we eat our protein. Let me ask you honestly, what did you have for breakfast this morning? If you're like many older adults across America, the answer is probably not much. A slice of toast, a banana, maybe just coffee. Dinner? That's when the real meal happens. But that pattern, light in the morning, heavy at night, is one of the biggest reasons muscle fades faster with age. You see, as we get older, our bodies become less efficient at using protein. It's a natural process called anabolic resistance. To overcome it, we need to give our muscles multiple signals throughout the day, not just one big message at night. In a study published by the Journal of Nutrition, researchers found that seniors who consumed 25 to 30 grams of protein at each meal had up to 25% greater muscle building activity than those who ate the same total amount of protein, just all at dinner. Even more impressive, a University of Texas study showed that older adults who only changed the timing of their protein, not their exercise, gained 1.2 pounds of lean muscle in 12 weeks. That's the power of smart nutrition. I want to share a story with you. Frank, a 74-year-old retired firefighter from Michigan, spent his life running into burning buildings. But lately, just getting out of a chair was becoming a struggle. His daughter offered to carry his groceries one day, and he paused. Then he said something that stuck with me. As long as I can feed myself, I'm not giving up. But here's the thing. He was unknowingly starving his muscles all day. His breakfast? Coffee and a muffin. His lunch? Crackers, maybe soup. And all his protein came at dinner, when his body could barely use it efficiently. We made one simple change. He started his morning with eggs, a small protein shake, or Greek yogurt. For lunch, he added grilled chicken, beans, or tuna. That's it. 6 weeks later, he said, "My legs, they don't shake when I stand anymore." He didn't lift weights. He didn't take supplements. He just gave his muscles the fuel they needed at the right time. This isn't about diets, powders, or pricey pills. It's about changing the message you send your body 3 times a day. A message that says, stay strong. I still need you. So let me ask you, are you watering your muscles in the morning or waiting until they're already withering? If this habit opened your eyes, even just a little, please give this video a like. And if it reminded you of someone you care about, someone who skips breakfast or eats light all day, share it with them. It might help them feel stronger again. Better yet, drop a comment and tell us, what's your go-to protein for breakfast? And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Golden Wise Elders for more simple, powerful habits that help you stay strong, mobile, and independent at every age. Now that we've talked about fueling your muscles, it's time to talk about how to wake them up again. Because the next habit we'll explore has been called the single most effective anti-aging practice ever discovered. Let's move forward. Habit 2, wake up your muscles. With a little healthy resistance, feeding your muscles is important, but feeding them without ever asking them to work? It's like giving your car gas and never turning the key. The truth is, muscles are built to respond to challenge. And if we stop using them in a meaningful way, especially after age 60, they slowly stop showing up for us. One missed step, one moment of weakness, and suddenly the stairs feel steeper. The grocery bags feel heavier. Getting off the floor, not so easy anymore. This isn't just about getting stronger, it's about keeping your independence. And here's the key. Walking alone isn't enough. Don't get me wrong, walking is great for your heart, your mind, and your joints. But when it comes to maintaining actual muscle strength, especially in your legs, hips, arms, and back, you need resistance, the kind that tells your muscles, wake up, we're not done yet. Researchers at McMaster University discovered that older adults who practice progressive resistance training, lifting moderate to heavy weights with increasing challenge, gained 3.3 pounds of muscle and improved strength by 35% in just 12 weeks. And here's the kicker. They didn't train every day, just twice a week. This method has been called the single most effective anti-aging habit ever studied. So what is it? It's not about bodybuilding. It's not about going to the gym 5 times a week. Progressive resistance training means gradually increasing the weight, resistance, or difficulty of the movements you do, so your muscles don't get bored and start shrinking. Think push-ups against a wall, then the counter, then maybe the floor. Think squatting to a chair, then to a lower surface. Think lifting light dumbbells or resistance bands and slowly adding a little more each week. Let me tell you about Martha, a 77-year-old grandmother from Ohio. For years, she stayed active, daily walks, tending her garden. But she started noticing she couldn't lift her laundry basket like she used to. She told me, I'm scared to fall. I don't want to end up in one of those homes. We started small. Twice a week. Just 20 minutes each. Chair squats, wall presses, a couple of light dumbbell curls. At first, she said, this feels silly, too easy. But after a month, she was rising from chairs without effort, carrying her groceries. Her daughter noticed. So did she. She didn't feel like an old lady trying to stay in shape. She felt like herself again. Here's what most people forget. Muscles follow the rule of use it or lose it. But if you use them right, even at 70, 80, or beyond, they'll respond. Maybe not overnight, but certainly over time. And no, it doesn't take fancy equipment or a gym membership. You can use your own body weight, a resistance band, even canned goods in your kitchen. So here's the question. When was the last time your muscles were truly challenged? If you're not sure, that's okay. You can start small. You don't have to do it alone, but you do have to start. If Martha's story reminded you of your own journey or someone you love, tap the like button. And tell us in the comments, what's one movement you'd love to feel strong doing again? Climbing stairs? Standing from the floor? Holding your grandchild? Share this video with a friend who thinks it's too late to get strong again. Because sometimes all it takes is 2 short sessions a week to rewrite the rest of your story. Next up, we're going to talk about something most people never associate with muscle loss, but it affects it more than you think. Inflammation, silent, steady, and completely reversible when you know what to do. Let's keep going. Habit 3, tame the fire within. How inflammation steals your strength. Let me tell you something that might surprise you. Losing muscle isn't always about aging. Sometimes it's about a slow burning fire inside your body. One you can't see, but you can feel. It shows up as stiffness in the morning, as swelling in your ankles, as that foggy, run-down feeling that doesn't seem to go away. Doctors call it chronic low-grade inflammation. We call it just part of getting older. But here's the truth. It doesn't have to be. This kind of quiet inflammation, sometimes called inflammaging, is now recognized as a major driver of muscle breakdown in older adults. It weakens your body's ability to repair muscle tissue, even if you're eating well or exercising regularly. A study from Tufts University found that seniors with high levels of inflammation lost muscle mass 3 times faster than those with low inflammation, regardless of how active they were. Think about that. You could be walking daily, lifting light weights, even eating protein right. But if inflammation is running in the background, your progress may be slipping right through your fingers. So what do the healthiest, strongest older adults do differently? They learn how to cool the fire down, and they do it in simple daily ways. And now, something your muscles will thank you for. First, they sleep. Not just any sleep. 7 to 8 hours of deep, uninterrupted rest. Poor sleep raises inflammatory markers by up to 40%. That's why protecting your sleep, like a treasure, is non-negotiable if you want to stay strong. Second, they feed their gut, not with sugar and processed foods, but with real, colorful plant-based meals. At least 30 different plants a week. Fruits, veggies, beans, spices, and yes, fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, and sauerkraut that support healthy gut bacteria. Why? Because a healthier gut equals less inflammation equals to better muscle health. Third, they move smart. Too little movement, inflammation builds up. Too much intense training, also bad. The sweet spot, gentle daily movement like walking, tai chi, swimming, plus short bursts of intensity once or twice a week, tailored to your body. And finally, they add in nature's anti-inflammatories, omega-3 fatty acids from fatty fish or supplements, turmeric with black pepper, olive oil, berries, green tea. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that this kind of anti-inflammatory nutrition reduced inflammation markers by nearly 30% in just 12 weeks. Let me tell you about Judy, a 70-year-old from North Carolina. She wasn't out of shape, but her body always felt puffy and slow. She called it my old lady fog. F-O-E-. After a routine blood test, her doctor found elevated C-reactive protein, a marker of inflammation. So she made some small changes, cut back on sugar, added a handful of walnuts daily, started drinking green tea in the afternoon, and made sure she was in bed before 10 p.m. most nights. A few weeks later, she said, I didn't just feel stronger, I felt lighter, inside, like something had calmed down. It wasn't just in her head. Her CRP levels dropped, and so did the stiffness in her knees. Here's what I want you to take away from this. Inflammation isn't your destiny, it's just a signal. And the good news is, you can quiet it. So let me ask you, what's one small thing you can do this week to lower inflammation in your life? Is it swapping soda for green tea? Getting to bed a little earlier? Adding salmon or berries to your grocery list? If this part resonated with you, let us know by hitting the like button. Leave a comment and tell us, what's your go-to anti-inflammatory habit? And if you know someone who feels tired and achy all the time, send them this video. You just might help them feel alive again. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe to Golden Wise Elders. We're building a community of strong, wise, and vibrant older adults, just like you. All right, next up, we're going to talk about something that sounds a little strange at first, but trust me, your muscles love it. We're diving into the power of good stress and why small discomforts can lead to big strength. Let's keep going. Habit 4. Harness hormetic stress. Small discomforts, big results. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you did something a little uncomfortable on purpose? I'm not talking about running a marathon. I mean small discomforts, the kind that make you go, ooh, that's cold. Or, whew, that made me sweat. Turns out, those tiny moments of controlled stress, they might be the very thing your muscles and your entire body have been waiting for. This is called hormetic stress. It sounds technical, but it simply means what challenges you just a little can make you stronger, longer. Scientists at the Buck Institute for Research on Aging have studied how brief exposures to certain stressors, like cold, heat, fasting, and tension, can activate powerful cellular repair systems. These responses protect muscle tissue, enhance mitochondrial function, and help you age more gracefully. It's like sending your body a reminder, hey, stay alert, we're still in the game. Let's break it down. First, cold exposure. No, I'm not asking you to jump into an icy lake in February. Just finish your morning shower with 30 seconds of cold water. That alone can stimulate brown fat activation, which helps regulate metabolism and triggers the release of adiponectin, a hormone that protects muscles from breakdown. Second, heat therapy, a sauna, a warm bath, even sitting in the sun. These raise your core temperature and trigger heat shock proteins, special molecules that help repair damaged muscle cells and reduce inflammation. A study in Finland found that people who used a sauna 4 to 7 times per week had 40% less muscle loss over 10 years compared to those who didn't. Third, intermittent fasting. No trendy diet here. Just give your digestive system a break. Try eating within an 8 to 10 hour window, say from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. This activates autophagy, your body's cellular spring cleaning system. Research from the Salk Institute showed that fasting improved muscle quality and mitochondrial health by over 10%, even without weight loss. Fourth, isometric exercises, holding a wall sit for 20 seconds, pushing your palms together like you're trying to crack a walnut. These short, high-effort contractions activate deep muscle fibers without joint strain. They're safe, they're effective, and yes, your muscles remember. Let me tell you about Robert, a 69-year-old Vietnam veteran from Texas. He used to be strong, worked construction all his life, but after retirement and a few health setbacks, he told me, "I feel like I've gone soft, not just in my body, but in my mind." We didn't start with weights. We started with contrast showers, warm then cold, then short sauna sessions 3 times a week. He practiced holding tension in his arms and legs just 5 seconds at a time. And he tried eating within a 9-hour window, giving his body space to rest and reset. A month later, he said, "I feel sharper, not just stronger, more present, like my body isn't asleep anymore." And that's exactly it. Hormetic stress wakes your body up without overdoing it. It's not about punishment. It's about gentle challenge, just enough to remind your system you've still got it. So here's my question. Which kind of challenge feels doable for you? A short burst of cold water, a 10-second muscle hold, delaying breakfast for an hour or two? Whatever it is, start small, start today, and let your body thank you tomorrow. If this spoke to you, go ahead and give this video a like. Drop a comment below. What's one good stress habit you've tried or want to try? And if you know someone who's been stuck in their comfort zone for too long, share this video with them. It might be the nudge they didn't know they needed. And hey, if you're not subscribed to Golden Wise Elders yet, now's the perfect time. This is where we grow stronger, smarter, and bolder together. Coming up next, there's one hidden reason many older adults still feel weak, even if they eat well and move more. It's small, often missed, but fixing it can unlock surprising energy and strength. Let's talk micronutrients. Habit V. Optimize your micronutrients, the small deficiencies that steal your strength. Sometimes it's not the big things that wear us down. Not a major illness, not a fall. Sometimes it's the little things, the things we never see coming. You wake up one day and realize you feel tired. Even after a full night's sleep, your hands feel weaker. Your legs take a second longer to respond. You start forgetting words, misplacing keys. And somewhere deep down, you wonder, is this just what aging feels like? But here's what most people don't know. Many of these symptoms aren't signs of aging. They're signs of micronutrient deficiencies. You could be eating a decent diet, staying active, even taking a multivitamin, and still be running low on the key minerals and vitamins that power your muscles and your brain. Let's look at a few of the quiet culprits. Magnesium. Over 70% of older adults in the U.S. are deficient. This mineral helps regulate over 300 processes in your body, including muscle contraction, nerve communication, and energy production. Low magnesium can lead to cramps, tremors, fatigue, and even balance issues. A 2021 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that older adults with healthy magnesium levels had 30% greater grip strength and better physical performance than those with low levels, even if they exercise the same amount. Vitamin B12. As we age, our stomachs produce less acid, which means we absorb less B12 from food. And if you take common medications like metformin or proton pump inhibitors for heartburn or diabetes, your B12 absorption drops even further. Low B12 can cause numbness, memory problems, and muscle weakness. Creatine. Yes, the same supplement bodybuilders use, but here's the catch. In older adults, creatine helps your muscles hold on to water, stay energized, and even improves cognitive function. Studies from McMaster University show that adding just 3 to 5 grams of creatine a day, combined with light exercise, leads to greater strength gains and better memory recall in seniors. And let's not forget the powerful trio of zinc, selenium, and chromium, minerals that support insulin sensitivity and protein synthesis. A large study by Tufts University found that older adults with adequate levels of these minerals preserved up to 22% more muscle mass over 5 years than those with deficiencies. Let me introduce you to Walter, 81, from Arizona. He came to me saying, "I'm doing everything right, but I still feel like I'm slowing down." He walked every day, ate his vegetables, took a multivitamin, but when we checked his nutrient levels, he was severely low in magnesium and B12. He switched to a methylated B12 supplement, added a magnesium glycinate capsule at night, and started eating more dark leafy greens and seeds. 2 months later, he wrote me an email. It simply said, "I feel like the lights came back on." It wasn't magic, it was biology finally working the way it was meant to. The truth is, you can't build muscle with just protein and effort without the right micronutrients. It's like trying to build a house with bricks but no mortar. It might look strong, but the moment pressure comes, it starts to crumble. So here's my gentle advice to you. Don't guess. Test. Talk to your doctor about checking your magnesium, B12, vitamin D, and other key levels. And if you can't test right away, start by adding real, nutrient-dense foods. Dark leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, sardines, lentils, and choose highly absorbable supplements when needed, not the cheap stuff from the discount shelf. And remember, these changes don't just help your body, they help your mind, your mood, your ability to keep up with life, not sit back and watch it pass. So I'll ask you this. When was the last time you checked what your body might be missing? Not just calories, but fuel. If Walter's story made you pause, even for a second, give this video a like. Leave a comment and tell us what's one small health change you're committing to this week. And if someone you care about has been feeling off lately, share this with them. You might be the reason they feel like themselves again. And don't forget to subscribe to Golden Wise Elders, where knowledge meets kindness and growing older means growing better. Together. Next up, we're diving into a part of your body that most people overlook, but it's where strength starts. The connection between your muscles and your brain, and how keeping that line strong could be the key to staying active well into your 90s. There's more wisdom waiting. Let's explore it together. Habit 6. Strengthen neuromuscular connections. Reconnect what age tries to separate. Have you ever felt like your body isn't quite listening to you the way it used to? You know you want to stand up, but your legs hesitate. You see the step, but your foot doesn't quite lift high enough. You try to grip the cup, but your fingers feel just a second too slow. That delay, that moment where mind and muscle feel out of sync, is more than just getting older. It's a sign that the communication between your brain and your muscles is starting to weaken. And if we don't pay attention, it can slowly disconnect, leaving us feeling clumsy, unstable, and afraid to move. But the good news is this: you can rebuild that connection. You can strengthen the line between your thoughts and your movement, and it's never too late to do it. This line is called the neuromuscular junction, the place where your nervous system tells your muscles what to do. After age 60, these connections naturally begin to deteriorate, but certain habits, small, consistent habits, can actually stimulate new connections, wake up dormant pathways, and keep your body sharp and responsive. So how do we do it? First, through movement that requires coordination. Not just walking in a straight line, but movement that asks your body to think and react. Tai Chi, dancing, ping pong, even gentle tennis or pickleball. A study published in the Journal of Physiology found that older adults who practice coordination-based activities twice a week had 31% better preservation of neuromuscular junctions than those who only did traditional exercise. Second, through intentional breathing. Controlled breathing activates the vagus nerve, which plays a major role in calming your nervous system and enhancing neuromuscular signaling. Try this. It's called box breathing. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold again for 4, just 5 minutes a day. It doesn't sound like much, but it can increase muscle activation by 15%. And maybe even more importantly, it brings peace. Third, through targeted nutrients. Compounds like acetyl L-carnitine and alpha-lipoic acid have shown promise in supporting neural energy and protecting nerve cells from oxidative damage. Specific forms of vitamin B1, such as benfotiamine, may enhance the levels of acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter that signals your muscles to move. And finally, through mindful, focused attention, doing puzzles, learning new skills, reading out loud, even playing a musical instrument. It turns out keeping your brain challenged helps keep your muscles active because the two are always talking. Let me tell you about Diana, a 68-year-old former music teacher from Washington State. She told me, "I don't feel weak exactly. I just feel unsure, like my body second guesses itself." She hadn't fallen yet, but she started walking slower, holding onto walls, avoiding stairs. We started with small things, Tai Chi twice a week at her local rec center, a 100-piece puzzle every morning with her coffee, box breathing while listening to Chopin. Within 2 months, her posture improved. Her steps grew quicker. She smiled more. "I didn't just get stronger," she told me. "I got back in sync with myself." And that's what this habit is about. Not just strengthening your body, but rebuilding the trust between your brain and your muscles. So let me ask you gently, when was the last time you learned a new movement or took 5 minutes just to breathe with intention? If you're nodding along, hit that like button. And if you've ever felt that disconnect, drop a comment below. You're not alone and you're not stuck. Share this video with someone who moves cautiously or has started to avoid the stairs. You could be giving them more than advice. You could be giving them hope. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to Golden Wise Elders, where age is honored, strength is cultivated, and the mind-body connection stays alive and well. Coming up next, we'll explore the final and perhaps most overlooked habit of all. A sunshine vitamin that doesn't just protect your bones, but plays a major role in how your muscles perform. Let's finish strong with vitamin D and K2. Habit 7. Optimize your vitamin D and K2 levels. The sunshine duo your muscles need. Let's finish with something that feels so simple, and yet it affects nearly every muscle movement you make. You've probably heard of vitamin D before. Maybe your doctor mentioned it during a checkup, or you've seen it on supplement labels at the pharmacy. It's often called the bone vitamin. And yes, it plays a big role in keeping your bones strong. But what most people don't realize is that vitamin D is also one of the most powerful muscle activators in your entire body. Think of it as a light switch. Without it, your muscles simply don't turn on the way they should. Your muscle cells actually contain receptors for vitamin D. And when those receptors are activated, they kick off a chain reaction, triggering muscle growth, repair, and function. But here's the scary part. More than 80% of older adults in the US have low or borderline vitamin D levels, and often they have no idea. A study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that seniors with optimal vitamin D levels had 25% more strength, faster reaction times, and better balance than those who were deficient. They were less likely to fall, more likely to stay independent, and simply move through life with more confidence. Let me tell you about Mr. Linwood, a 79-year-old retired veteran living in North Carolina. He'd never broken a bone. Didn't have osteoporosis, but his legs felt heavy. His balance was off. He started using a cane, not because he fell, but because he felt like he might. He told me, "My daughter keeps saying I look unsure when I walk. I don't want to end up in a home over a misstep." We tested his vitamin D. His levels were 18 ml, well below the optimal range. With his doctor's help, we added a daily dose of 2,000 IU of vitamin D3, paired with K2, a critical partner that helps direct calcium into bones, not arteries. He also sat in the sun for 15 minutes each morning with his coffee. Within 8 weeks, his levels reached the 40s, and one day, he showed up without the cane. "I didn't feel younger," he said. "I just felt steady, grounded, like my body caught up to me again." That's the gift of vitamin D, not flashy strength, but foundational stability. So what can you do? Start by asking your doctor for a vitamin D blood test, the 25-hydroxy test. Aim for a level above 40 ml, not just normal, but optimal. If you supplement, choose D3, ideally with K2. MK7 is a well-absorbed form. Include foods like fatty fish, egg yolks, fortified dairy, and fermented foods, which support K2. And if your skin allows, try to get 10 to 20 minutes of midday sun, a few times a week. This habit costs very little, but the return, your balance, your reaction time, your strength, your confidence. It's not just about preventing a fall. It's about walking taller, standing firmer, and moving through the world without fear. So here's my final question for you. When was the last time you felt truly grounded in your body? If this story resonated with you, please give this video a like. Comment below and tell us, have you ever checked your vitamin D level? And if someone in your life is starting to slow down or relying on furniture to stay balanced, share this with them. It could be the simplest change with the biggest impact. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join us here at Golden Wise Elders. We're building something special, something stronger than muscle. A community of people choosing to age with power, presence, and purpose. Let's keep walking forward, together. You've just learned 7 simple habits, habits backed by science, by real-life stories, and by the quiet determination of people just like you. They don't require fancy equipment. They don't ask for perfection. They just ask that you keep showing up for yourself. Because you don't have to be 40 again. You just have to feel like you again, strong, steady, and in control. Fuel your muscles with the right foods. Challenge them, gently but consistently. Quiet the fires of inflammation. Welcome small discomforts that make you grow. Fill the gaps with the nutrients your body quietly craves. Reconnect your brain and body, and let the sunshine bring you back into balance. These aren't quick fixes. They're quiet revolutions. Little shifts that, over time, can change the way you walk, move, think, and live. And you're not doing this alone. Here in this space, you're part of a community that believes aging isn't something to fear. It's something to live, fully, boldly, and wisely. So if even one of these habits spoke to you today, if something clicked or gave you hope or reminded you that your strength is still there, waiting, then take a moment to like this video and share it with someone you care about. Comment below and tell us, which habit are you going to try first? We'd love to hear your voice. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to Golden Wise Elders and hit the bell so you never miss a chance to grow stronger together. Because here, we don't age quietly. We age with courage, with clarity, and with community. Thanks for being here. We'll see you in the next one.